Well, welcome to the call, Katie, and welcome everyone. If you're on the Facebook Live, before we even get started, this is kind of our introductory call, and Katie and Andrea and I have been talking about, what can we do to start promoting weight loss before the first of the year. Everybody always waits till the first of the year to get started with weight loss things, and we decided let's get started now. And Katie, thank you for I think it's just a great idea.
Yes. So I guess, Kurt, the idea behind creating this group was to help empower, inform and educate people about fitness and weight loss and just health in general. And I'm sure you'll share quite a bit of information as we go along, perhaps not today, but in later calls, about how the Sisel products can work better through using improved diet and exercise, and what products can actually support weight loss, because this is a big thing for people, I think. And even if somebody doesn't need to lose weight right this second, there's always a time when you need to cull back a bit and put it back in check. So I think it does affect everyone. And then, of course, the exercise component, Kurt, was only just yesterday I was posting the article saying that, not doing any activity or any exercise is worse than smoking. What do you think of that?
Yeah, definitely. Lack of exercise, they're saying, definitely is just as bad for you as smoking. I posted an article this morning, and while you and Sandy were both sleeping, I posted an article, and what it said is that a lot of people, they jump on the scale and they go, oh, I'm the normal weight, but sarcopenia is something that we see that happens to older folks, where they might be the normal weight, but they don't have enough muscle mass for their body size. And they're finding that can lead to just as many health problems as actually being overweight or being obese. And then when you take somebody who's sarcopenic, they don't have enough muscle mass, and they're overweight, then you really have a problem, and it can really add to the health issues that can come up. So this is really important information.
Yeah, and that can be made worse too from the yo-yo dieting. So if you go on a diet in the wrong way, I guess, and you drop your muscle, and then you go off it, and then you gain your body fat back. Is it possible that people are actually reducing their muscle over a period of time by doing that if they're not actually exercising and building?
Yeah. So you got to be building that muscle all the time. And like we talked about in the Sisel Doctors Clinic call, boy, I bet that was 2 years ago now, when I went to that conference down in Florida, and they were saying that if you don't continue to build muscle, you're gonna develop dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh. So great. So we're really excited to have Sandy on the call today. Thanks for getting on. And so Sandy's going to share a little bit about what her goals are, and so hopefully she's going to get some inspiration from this group and anything that she personally wants to achieve. I think you're going to talk a bit about exercise. Is that right, Sandy? What your goals are? Oh, we can't hear you. Can you unmute her?
I think you're unmuted. Hang on. Oh, there. No.
There we go.
Okay, I unmuted myself. Sorry, didn't realize I was muted. Like everybody.
You're on the air.
And Kurt, while you said you were sleeping, I was actually out walking. No, well, I should have been, but no, I wasn't. Everybody, I think these days, needs to either lose weight or do exercises. Like for me, I probably don't need to lose a lot of weight, but definitely tone muscles and keep your muscles moving. Yes, absolutely. And so last week, before this actually started, I thought, okay, I better start walking. So I've started doing a good half-hour walk every day.
Yeah.
So up to my fourth day. I thought I need to build that up because I haven't walked for a while. But I didn't have any trouble doing half-hour. That was quite easy. But then when I go to work, I find being on my feet all day,
Right.
cutting hair. I just can't go walking. My feet are aching. My whole body's aching by the time I finished a big day like yesterday. So tomorrow again, I will go for my walk because I couldn't do it today. So, well, I could have got up earlier, but I didn't. So I suppose that's where, you know, coming in on a group, it's going to make me more committed to do it. It's actually makes you accountable to do it. So it's like people going to the gym. They decide if they join the gym, you know, they need to go. But I find if you do it in a group session, you are more committed to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, you know, like I say, for me, I've never ever had a weight problem. But once I hit over 44, definitely things changed for me. Like I've always, like I say, never ever been on a diet in my life. Never. I could always eat whatever I wanted to eat. Obviously have a very fast metabolism because within 2 hours I have to eat again, otherwise I get a little bit faint. So like I've found being on the Sisel Ripped has really, really helped me with the age pill. And I always have my Sizzling drink in the mornings with my some fruit put in it as well. So I have that every morning. So, you know, you think that I'm doing a little bit better there, not having any carbs or anything first up. So, yeah, so like I say, I'll start the walking and then probably I used to do a lot of Pilates. So I used to be committed to do that twice a week when I was working full-time. I'm not working full-time now, so I can probably get back into doing that as well, just to, like you say, just get those muscles moving. Walking will do some of it, but I think Pilates, doing something like that, will tend to get more muscles going.
Yeah.
And hopefully I might lose my muffin top.
There's a goal. So
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
The Pilates is, it's actually resistance exercise. So you are using your own body weight,
Yeah.
and which creates resistance in the actual exercises of Pilates, which actually does help to build that muscle. So that's fantastic. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's,
Well, and I think, you know, like you said, by making a commitment on the group and having that just that participation with other people. Like I was just writing down, you know, here, if everybody can read that, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, right?
what's that in kilos?
What's in kilos? So 50 pounds is
Yeah.
2.4 kilos per pound. So that would be, I'm going to lose 100 and...
No, wouldn't be.
How many kilos? How many pounds, Kurt?
50 pounds, right? And there's 2
50
kilos.
pounds.
Yeah,
Or no,
2.4
kilo is 2.4 kilos, right? So it'd actually be half that, right? So it'd be around 22 kilos. Thank you, Mike.
22 kilos.
Michael,
Wow.
he's the engineer. Thanks, Michael.
Right.
Fantastic. So, Kurt, so Sandy was just sharing here. So can we talk a little bit about getting started with exercise for the first time? What if you've never exercised really before, or you've been ill and you haven't exercised? You know, let's have a discussion about getting started there, because you do need to be cautious, and you're being a doctor and, you know, specializing in this. This would be great conversation.
What I've always told my patients, and I think this is key, is that if you're trying to rehabilitate, if you're trying to rebuild, which most of us at this stage in our life, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to rebuild. It's not the old saying that I learned in high school football. High school football, no pain, no gain, right? But now, at 56 years old, no pain for maximum gain. It's a new thing. No pain for maximum gain. So if I'm going out and I'm starting to hurt, that's too far, right? That's when you shut her down. And then each time you go out, you're going to add a little bit more to it, because you're going to find that your endurance is going to go up as you build that. So no pain for maximum gain.
Wow. So, you know, people need to be, I guess, cautious. I had my brother who started at the gym. He hadn't been for a while and went there, and it was only a matter of a couple of weeks he developed a hernia. So, you know, that sort of stuff, I guess, can happen quite easily if your body's not conditioned, and also because as we get older, we're not the same as what we're in our 20s. So we're much more prone to be developing an injury. So if we start engaging in something, and I'm not sure what exercise he was doing, you could take a guess at a few, but if you sort of pull too much weight or over, stress the body, that's the sort of thing that can happen, isn't it?
That's right. Yep. So again, if he would have stopped when he started to hurt, chances are he wouldn't hurt himself.
Yeah. And so for me, when in the past, when I was quite unwell and I was starting back in exercise, I was determined to get back there, and it was really difficult because of being in a lot of pain. This is going back quite a number of years. And so I actually started Kurt and Sandy with about 3 minutes a day. 3 minutes I committed to. So, I was hardly able to move much at all. And so I just started with 3 minutes. It slowly built up. It wasn't long before 3 turned into 5 minutes. 5 turned into 10. And I just started with some really gentle cardio and just slowly built it up before I even started. And then the next thing after doing that is I then progressed onto doing some stretching. And then when I was doing the stretching with a little bit of cardio, it was a while after that I actually introduced some very, very light weight. So I was very cautious, and I think I followed exactly what you were saying there, Kurt.
Yeah. Yeah, and doing a little bit of mixing it up, do different exercises, do 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of that. Some of the studies that are out there now are really showing that by mixing it up a little bit, you get better results that way. And they're really showing the weightlifting is probably even better for weight loss and for toning and for everything than cardiovascular. So.
Oh, but then you've talked on other calls too that the cardiovascular is better for longevity.
Yeah, well, now some of the scientists are saying differently. They're saying that weightlifting, because it prevents dementia, it builds muscle and prevents dementia. They're saying, that's more important.
So I guess for those watching, if they're not in a position to be able to do the weights at this stage, they're much better off doing something and just getting the body moving, starting with their walking, and then trying to progress it a little bit to something else as well, and mix it up like what you've just talked about.
Yeah. And like Sandy was talking about with Pilates, using your own body weight. There's nothing wrong with using your own body weight. I mean, if you walk around with your arm like this stretched out for a whole day, your muscles are going to fatigue out, and you're going to build muscle just using the weight of your arm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you can get the bands and that as well. You've got the bands that you can use.
Yeah, TheraBands.
So, yeah, which are great. So you can get, 3 different strengths in them. So just gradually work up to higher.
Yeah. And you can build muscle doing that. So I think you'll get really good results.
Yeah. And you can YouTube anything, which is so fantastic, just to build, if you, want to lose a bit of weight off your arms or your stomach or whatever. So, and you can work along with them, which is quite good as well if you don't really want to go to a gym.
Or twice a month, you can lift your Sisel box.
Exactly. Twice for you. Geez, that all.
Big order.
Mine's about 3 times.
So, Kurt, I thought we might touch on too, and just talk a little bit about how do you know if you're overweight? So, 2 measures you can use as waist circumference, and the other one's your BMI.
Yeah. So, you guys are in kilograms, we're in pounds, of course, but, jump on a scale, and then you can take your weight for your height and your frame size. You can throw it into a computer, and you can come up with the BMI, and it'll tell you where you're at and where you should be for your age and your size. And then just work from there. But like I posted on the group this morning, if you lose a half a pound a week, that's 26 pounds a year you'll be losing. So you don't have to lose massive amounts. So many people, they go, oh yeah, it wasn't working for me. I only lost a half a pound. How long did it take to get fat? Right? I was born fat, so I got it. I can blame it on my mom.
So BMI, just getting back to the BMI, I had an ex-partner who was doing a lot of weightlifting, and he actually had a lot of muscle. When he did his BMI, said that he was actually obese, but even though he wasn't, because he had a lot of muscle weight. So perhaps for him, a better measure would have been the waist circumference, because his waist was, in proportion to the rest of him. So I guess you need to bear that in mind a little bit.
Yeah, you got to look at the frame size. I mean, man, you take a look at the size of my arms, take a look at Sandy's arms, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be a difference. If we're the same height, I'm
Yeah.
going to have more weight because my frame size, just like you're saying, your friend. So you kind of got to adjust that a little bit, but it's a tool. It's another tool.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess, it's like, for me, people say, oh, well, you're quite thin, but I do generally always watch what I eat. And if I feel like, go through a period of eating quite a bit of chocolate and notice some weight coming on, that's when I'll just start to put it back in check before I allow it to sort of get to a stage. Because as a child, I was actually quite obese, and I used to get teased at school. I had no friends in primary school, and right from grade 4, 5, and 6. And so for me, that was a really big concern back then. And it wasn't until I got into high school that I then became really, really started to bother me a lot. And I started to figure out ways to manage my weight and get it under control. And so I guess that's also part of this idea of forming in this group, is that we're going to be able to share some great stories that will help to motivate and inspire people, and also give them some tools that they can utilize and take away so that they can help them on their journey, because it's certainly not something that you just do and stop, or I've done that. It's something that's ongoing, that needs to always be rechecked, reported back on, just to see how you're going, so you can keep it in balance, so you don't let it get way out of control. And if somebody is in that situation, then it's a good time to just make a start, even if it's slow. And so, Kurt, you shared a great testimonial the other day in the group with your friend. I'm just trying to think of his name. Shared his photo, and he was really quite large at one stage. And the doctor, if you read his testimonial, and perhaps we'll share it in the group after this call, but the doctor called him and said to him, if you don't make a change now, you're not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you remember that testimonial?
Now, are you talking about Bill DeFalco?
No.
Or Jimmy O'Keefe?
Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy, man. I'll tell you what, his family owns an ice cream manufacturing plant. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see in your eyes, Sandy, when I said that. It's like, well, holy cow, no wonder he's overweight. That's like being a chef and being skinny, right? Right? But he was told that he wouldn't be around if he didn't get it under control, and he lost at least one of himself, and he's maintaining it.
But everybody's so different, their bodies. Like for me, I've always been able to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and people hate me for that. But yet my son is exactly the same, but he hates it because he just wants to put weight on, and he can't because he's got a fast metabolism. But once you get over 45, yes, things do slow up a little bit, and you do put on a little bit more than what, like I've put on 7 kilos since I've become over 40. Yeah. But, I mean, people don't even notice it. I was actually very thin before, but I didn't notice that because I've always been like that. But now I'm thinking, oh, I feel like I'm, a bit chubby. But for other people, they think, oh, you're not even chubby, but because I'm used to being thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But now that you're just gained a little bit, now's the time to take it off, like Katie was saying. Work on it now. Don't wait till it's 22 kilos like I have to lose. Right?
I'd never do that. I'd never let myself get like that. I've always kept an eye on my weight, and like I say, for the last 8 years, my weight has not changed at all. I can maybe range from a kilo up. That's it. But it always comes back off. Yeah.
Well, now that I'm fat, I can say that too. I stay within this range now, but it's a big range.
Yeah, and you got to get it off and keep it off. Yeah.
But I'm committing to it right here.
Good.
Yes.
Great, and we're going to follow your journey, Kurt. I had another awesome testimonial to share today, but unfortunately the recording didn't play back correctly, and so I'll share it for next week. But I think you both know Helen. She's in the team, and Helen recently, just to give a quick overview, she recently got diagnosed with some heart issues with the valve, and the doctor said to her, you need to start exercising immediately, to help with the heart health. And of course, with that, there will be some weight loss to, well, normally if you start exercising and watching a bit what you're eating, that naturally occurs. So she's going to be on the call next time, and we'll share her recording and her journey, and we're going to track that because she's very committed to it, like you are, Kurt, as well, and Sandy. And so that will be exciting to see her journey and see her transform. So I'm really excited to watch that. And I guess there's so many other reasons to be looking after yourself, not just weight, but fitness or exercise, because for all the health benefits that it brings you, but also the issues that can occur by being overweight can be related to many different things, as discussed in that article. Kurt, do you want to just elaborate a bit on that and what they kind of find with the connections?
Well, I mean, there's just so many different connections without even looking at the article. I mean, I can tell you, because of certain enzymes that are present when you're overweight, it's present in fat. What happens is that you increase your risk of cancer when you're overweight. Like I was talking about earlier with the sarcopenic obesity, what happens? So your normal weight for your size, but you don't have enough muscle mass, so that's what they call sarcopenic obesity. So it's a skinny fat person, right? Would be an easy way of saying it. But it increases your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's, right? And the American Alzheimer's Association is saying that in the next 20 years, Alzheimer's is going to be just skyrocketing. And so we got to start looking for ways. How do we prevent that from happening to us? How do we get other people to help them prevent? And so that's where this group is important. It's not just for weight loss, but it's for preventing these real serious diseases. You increase your risk of diabetes. You increase your risk of heart disease. You increase your risk of joint disease, bad knees, bad hips, bad back, all these different things. You increase your risk of autoimmune disorders. You increase your risk of just so many different things. Sleep apnea, all these things because of the weight issues. So if you aren't doing it because you want to lose weight, do it because you want to get your health back in control.
And that is just a fantastic point, Kurt, because for me, what makes, I guess, managing weight and health is that I actually am more focused on the health aspect. It's not how I look, it's how I feel, firstly, and warding off and preventing disease and illness as much as possible. Having seen my father become ill at the age of 54, it was 26, I started saying, okay, what is absolutely everything I can do to prevent these disease and illness? And of course, this is where, weight management and fitness and all of that comes into it. So that's been my driving force, as opposed to I'm doing it because I want to look good. Because if you do it because you want to look good, then you can find other reasons that it's not so important. And so then that just falls by the wayside, and it becomes very difficult to maintain if your only reason for doing it is because you want to look good. To me, that won't stand the ground. It won't work for the long run. But if you kind of flip that around and go, I want to do it because I don't want to be sick, I want to be healthy, I want to enjoy good health, now your motivation changes. And so then, you start to question what you're putting in your body more so because you're worried about how it's going to impact your body, not how it's going to make you look. But then, of course, now you don't really have to worry about how you're going to look if you're focused on your health, because if you keep that in check, you naturally then get the other as well. That's how
Yeah. It doesn't matter how good you look if you're dead.
Exactly. So I guess just in winding up for our first kickoff, I thought you'd share a bit about the ebook that we're going to put together so that people have got a resource that they can use.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're talking about, Andrea's helped me out, Katie is writing this section, I'm writing this section, and we're really going to kind of give people different ideas because, like, for me, I'm a meat eater. Katie isn't, right? So we can't be on the same diet. We can't be eating the same things, but what we're going to try and do is talk about nutrition. What do you need to have if you're following a vegan diet? What do you need to have to ensure that you're getting all the nutrients and the minerals if you're following a keto diet like what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to have different nutrients. I mean, they show that when you follow a keto diet, for example, most people that are on a keto diet are mineral deficient. That's why people, if you start reading up on keto diets, people say, oh, I start losing my hair. I don't have that much to lose, right? And Sandy. But I don't want to lose my hair, you know, so I looked that up, and they said, well, it's minerals. So Spectrumax is really, really important. So we're going to put together an ebook. Then we're going to make it to everybody that's part of this group, part of this fitness group that we're putting together. And then Katie, you were talking about some ideas, maybe some prizes, things like that we can throw out there for people.
Yeah, so I thought as we start going along with this group, we'll be tracking people's progress. And I guess before Christmas, I'd like to give out a prize for the person who's lost the most weight, and also perhaps a prize for the most improved, because as I said, it's not just about weight loss, it's about improving fitness and feeling good. And so the other great thing about that is that we all want to be healthy, and so hopefully some motivating people and giving out some prizes and tracking people's progress will inspire others, because really you know, providing inspiration to others is really important, because you know, it just helps a lot of people.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can get for prizes and awards, and you know, I mean, and then get online and on Facebook on the group, and you know, throw your questions. If you've got some concerns, you know, you hit a plateau and you just need somebody to push you along, give you a little bit of boost. That's what we're here for. We're gonna try and support each other and make this work. You know, it's just like when I quit smoking cigarettes 29 years ago, right? I don't crave cigarettes anymore. I haven't smoked any since, right? And that's what I want to do with the weight loss. I want to get down to my goal weight. I want to get down to my ideal weight. I want to get my health back. And I never want to have to come back and do it again. This is the last time.
And so then you're going to manage it.
So I'm going to learn how. Yeah.
Excellent. So great. So it's a journey for all of us, and it will hopefully be a great space for inspiration and motivation. So I guess we'll leave it there, shall we?
Toy.
We're
It's got
on
a new
there.
toy.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm going to put my microphone in there so I can talk on it.
Yes.
It's really good. It's good. So yeah, the group's open to everyone. So feel free to add anyone to this group. If you've watched the replay or if you're watching us live, give us a smiley, add a comment. Love to hear from you. And yeah, any friends or anyone that you would like to add to this group, please do so. And we'd love to add value to their lives, because really that's what we're doing this for. We want to add as much value as we can to inspire and change people's lives. And it all starts, I think, with self. So to help people, help yourself.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.